Gold Digger, before we dive in, I want to let you know about something I'm teaching live coming up that you do not want to miss. 10x your productivity workshop. We're going to do a 4-hour intensive. Now, don't worry, everything will be recorded, so go ahead and click the button to register. But if you're somebody who just feels overwhelmed, out of control, you have no method to your madness, or you're working hard, but you're not seeing the results because you're just not spending time on the right things, I'm going to teach you how I've become the most productive person I know. I juggle multiple businesses. I have two small children and a lot of sports. I get 8 hours of sleep. I go to yoga. I walk every day. I do all the things. I hang out with my husband on date night, and we go to church. So if that seems too good to be true, click the button, grab your spot. I'm going to teach you how to 10x your productivity. In a series right now, leveling up your brand like a boss. So if you haven't listened to the other episodes, go take a look and check those out first. And if you need the workbook and the resources that go with it, you can just text us the word, go over to Instagram, the Gold Digger Girl, and just text us the word brand and we'll get that to you, okay? So really excited to dive into this with you and continue working through this content, because this is honestly my favorite thing to teach, because it is that soul work matched with the success tools and pieces you need to have a successful business on social and make sales. It really does come down to your brand, your no like and trust factor for sure, but like, who are you? Meaning, what do you do? What do you sell? Why would people want to do business with you? In this marketplace right now, people are not going to be drawn to somebody who's confused with their messaging, or it's not clear, what their offer is. And so we've got to get that clarity. So today we're actually going to be talking about who you want to work with and getting clear on that avatar. And one of the things that I've noticed as working with people over time, obviously, is that when you have something that can help everyone, there's this scarcity, this fear of, oh no, what if I narrow in on moms, for example? I talk a lot about working with women and moms. If you do that, you're going to be missing all the other people, right? I don't want to get too specific. Also, sometimes I will see people who've gotten coaching to be so specific that they basically, there's very few people for them to talk to. And if they don't understand like targeting and ads and stuff, like they're just kind of dead in the water. So we don't want that either. We want that happy medium for sure. And if you have something that can help everyone, if you're talking to everyone, you're talking to no one. Just remember that. This is what you want to really remember. When you are writing your content, or maybe you're on a live video or doing a podcast, when the person's listening to you, they need to feel like you're talking to them. I want you to think about my content. How did you even find this podcast? Maybe you're watching this YouTube video and you followed me for some time, most likely, or maybe you're newer. But the reason why you're here, if this is second, third, fourth, or maybe the 100th thing of mine you've listened to, is because there's the way I'm talking to you and teaching, you feel like I get you. And I do get you because I've done this work, okay? I've been there. I know where you're at. I know where your struggles are. And this is why I create this kind of content, because I know and I can see what's happening in the marketplace, that people don't understand personal branding. So when you're listening to me or watching, you feel me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're like, gosh, she gets me. That's what you want. How can you write a post to a specific person that you have in your mind as your ideal avatar if you haven't got the clarity on who the ideal avatar is? If you have something that's for everyone and you're like, I have this amazing toothpaste that whitens your teeth, want some? I mean, people are just going to scroll right past that, right? Okay, so let's talk about discovering her. And instead of traditional demographics, such as she's a woman, she's 35 to 55, she is, lives in suburbia, we want to think about the psychographics, okay? Now, with the ideal avatar work, we do this inside of our programs. You can get really specific and even name your avatar. And this can be helpful if you're really thinking about writing to a certain person with your post, or when you're on camera. It can be helpful to think like, who's on the other side of the cell phone watching you or reading your content? A specific person with a name, her age. She's, a mom. She has 2 kids and a dog. She's married, lives in, a certain area of the country. This is what she does for her work. Like, it can be helpful to think of a specific person, okay? But what I want you to get beyond is the demographics. her annual income and all those things, which is great. And we need more intel than that. This is the thing. Nowadays, people aren't just whipping out their credit cards, buying a bunch of coaching programs, right? Or even, in the direct sales space, people were buying, products and on auto ships and all the things. People were joining network marketing companies, and, that's just all changed. People are much more skeptical. They're not spending as quickly. Obviously, there's been a lot of changes and contraction in the market. So it is very important to get to the buying triggers. It's very important to connect emotionally with that person. If you can connect with them on an emotional level, you will have results. If you can't, and you're not understanding any of this, it's going to be longer for you, and you're going to get frustrated potentially. So don't worry. Like, if this is all new to you, stick with me. I've got you covered. I've been studying business and sales since I was 18 years old. So I've been around the block, and I've learned a lot, and I still have so much to learn. So stick with me and I'll help you out. But this is something you can learn, okay? This is absolutely something you can learn, and you can get better at it as you go along for sure, okay? So just hang in there with that. Okay, so we want to think about the psychographics. The psychographics is psychology, meaning what's going on up here with her, okay? What are her biggest frustrations, struggles? What keeps her up late at night? What does she get annoyed about? What does she just wish was taken care of? Here's an example. If you think about, let's say, example is I invested 5 figures last summer because I wanted my website completely overhauled, and I wanted it to just be branded and be incredible. I wanted people to come to it and just be like, dang, okay? My website, thegolddiggergirl.com, is incredible. Okay. Now, why did I spend 5 figures when, by the way, I had spent a few thousand 2 years before that having someone do a refresh night and day? Why did I spend that much money? Because in my mind, one of the struggles was to find somebody who really got it, had the experience, had the portfolio, and could take what I wanted in the vision and be able to articulate that and turn it into what I wanted. So the easy sale that happened in that conversation was because that person understood psychology. That person asked the right questions for me to know. He gets me, he's asking questions that I know he really cares. And then when he put together a presentation, it was exactly how I envisioned my brand to be. I mean, it was the colors. Even we actually ended up grabbing, we did a rebrand. We grabbed his colors and his fonts. He developed is how we did our rebrand from this one call I did with him, okay? Why am I telling you that? Because I want you to think about the ease of interaction that can happen when you understand buying behaviors, psychology, buying triggers. So what keeps them up late at night? What are their struggles? What do they just wish was taken care of, okay? And then I want you to think about the hopes and the dreams and what's the longing. And, when she's shopping, she's on Pinterest and she sees something on there and she just wants that in her life. And it of course applies to your niche. How is she feeling about that? Does she want more for her family? Does she want to feel better in her body? She's sick and tired of feeling exhausted and tired, right? Like, what's going on with her? There's not enough money at the end of the month. And she's just like, oh, right? Or is it not enough month at the end of the money? I think it is. So what are those psychographics for her? And when you can get clear on that and start talking to her in that way, she is going to respond. Now, often in those kind of posts where you're writing about these things, and you can obviously put a content strategy in place for this, they don't typically comment right on the post itself or the live. They'll DM you for sure. And it won't be a gazillion people. It's quality over quantity when you get into this ideal avatar work. This is why people who have viral videos, viral reels, you can get 1 million hits. I had a reel or a TikTok that had, I think it was like 150,000 views on it. Now, it actually was a selling one for my network marketing company, but I've talked to so many people who hundreds of thousands of views, no sales from it, because they didn't set it up that way. Like, it's a vanity metric, okay? You don't need a bunch of comments, and you don't need a bunch of views. You need quality. You need your avatar engaging with a call to action to get into a conversation with them, okay? So this is what I want you to do between now and our next session. And if you, reminder, go back and watch the other episodes and get the resources that come with this. Because I want you just to ask yourself, what could be more important than pausing and figuring this part out here. If you just go, I'm going to come back later, or let me hurry up and listen to the next episode, I'm just going to have all this information, you're dead in the water. I know that's tough, but if you don't pause to do the work to figure out how you want to show up, then you can't show up. So take the time to do this, okay? So for your homework, remember, just DM us brand, the word brand on Instagram, and we'll get this to you. Thinking of your ideal avatar, I want you to just describe who she is, her hopes, her dreams. Let me give you a resource. There's a book called Let Your Life Speak by Parker Palmer. It's a tiny book. It's probably on Audible. Let Your Life Speak. It's incredible. Okay, please, if you feel lost at all, you're just like, I don't even know, right? I'm in a glass case of emotion. You gotta check that book out. It's gonna change your life. So when you think about this, and I use this inside of my programs, if I said to you, all right, I'm hosting a conference, you're on the schedule, you've got 3 hours on stage, whoever your ideal avatar is, they're all in the audience, pen and paper, they're just like on the edge of their seats listening to you. What would you teach them? If it's your passion, you could walk up there without notes and talk and teach and coach and mentor for 3 hours. What would it be on? And who's in the audience? If you can do that and actually visualize that and capture that, you will figure everything out that we've been talking about. And my guess is it's not toothpaste that whitens your teeth, okay? Like, we've got to go a little deeper here because, again, the market has changed, and you being so clear on what you stand for and what you're about is going to draw people to you, and you will stand out amongst a sea of many. Okay. And I forgot to tell you, if this is helpful, take a screenshot of you listening to it or watching, throw it in your stories and tag me at the Goal Digger Girl, GOAL. I'd love to shout you out for that. But if this is helpful, share it also with an entrepreneurial friend and let them know that you've been loving this series. And then we have more to do. So we will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, get lit in your business and set your soul on fire. Bye-bye for now.